right? Woo! All right, Indies? You guys from Indy? Right, I'm from Indy. I'm glad to be here. I'm very thankful to these guys. Let's hear it for them right now. Very thankful to them for this opportunity. I'm really glad to be here with you guys. I've been spending the day here at the con, roaming around, checking out the vendors area. I always like coming here for this because it's a nice time for a bunch of morbidly obese people like me to try and navigate really narrow aisles. Why does the guy who sells the hentai scantily dressed schoolgirl statues look like the guy you would never trust with a schoolgirl? And that's just like any con you go to. The person who sells that is always somebody who you're like, that dude is sketchy. There's something going on there. Man, there's an alarming lack of fedoras this year. Last year I thought it was a BronyCon. It really threw me off for a little while. Did you guys know, okay, so bronies, juggalos are now considered a gang. You guys know that, right? But bronies still run free and unchecked. I am not comparing bronies to juggalos, I'm just saying there should be some kind of government regulation. Actually, the reason I really like that is because juggalos are a gang, which means right now, somewhere, there's an FBI agent undercover as a juggalo. And I really like that thought. And I'd love to see an FBI agent undercover as a brony. Agent Johnson, get in here, let's take a look at you. Looking good, looking good. Got your fedora, 1-inch brim, nice. Denim vest. I like those rainbow dash wings on the back of that vest. Now, where's your Fluttershy body pillow? What do you mean you don't have a Fluttershy body pillow? Don't you know what these guys will do to you? Agent Smith, last week they duct taped into a chair and forced him to watch Friendship is Magic, Clockwork Orange style. If friendship really is magic, why do so many bronies complain about being friend zoned? It's like to antagonize an audience. How about cosplayers? Are there cosplayers here? I don't see any. A few? All right. I was gonna cosplay, but my dad died and I had nobody left to disappoint, so it really got She knows what I'm talking about. You know, the pizza box anime wings held together with your mom's tears, that kind of thing. Yeah, she gets it. Actually, I'd be no good at cosplay because I maintain situational awareness when I put on a costume so I wouldn't inadvertently hit every other con goer in the head with my props, which I think you're supposed to do. That's like part of cosplay. So I was a role player in high school, a lot of role playing. I grew up in southern Indiana in a really small town, and I was the only punk rocker in the town. And by that I mean I owned a leather jacket and the Repo Man soundtrack. So I did a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, Robotech, I had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles role playing. Basically, if the rules required an entire book, I played that game. So what eventually happened was a group of friends in my small town high school in a class of 100, there were 90 when we graduated because 10 got pregnant and dropped out. But that's a true story. But they wanted to save me. And so I'm up for anything. I'm 43 now, and I'm still like, people will come up, hey, you want to go do that? I'm sure, why not? I don't care what it is, I'll give it a try. So they said, hey, you want to go to a youth meeting? And I went, sure, I'm 16. This sounds like fun. So the church was Assembly of God. Have you heard of the Assembly of God church? Yeah. They show up in the news occasionally, usually because they're at a book burning. So they take me there, and I'm so naive. I didn't even realize they were maneuvering me literally front row center. And so I'm sitting there, and then suddenly it started to occur, hey, I'm front row center. And then the youth minister came out, and he was so youth minister. If there were like this room full of people and him, and they said, pick the youth minister, I'd be like, oh, it's that dude, definitely. Yeah. He had like the blonde tipped hair and the earring to show how cool and hip he was. It was like the little stud. It wasn't too garish, but it was there to let the kids know he's just one of them. And so he literally started, you're me, I'm youth minister. You know, and I don't remember a lot verbatim about this, but I remember this one line. I used to hang out with the skateboarders and listen to the punk. Because he got me. But I knew that was leading me astray. Now, when you play role-playing games, when you play the Dungeons and the Dragons, I remember the Dungeons and the Dragons. You are opening a portal to hell. And you're inviting demons into your soul. And I'm thinking, awesome. I didn't even know that. I know demons, for I have seen them. And at this point, people around me actually went, what's going on here? I was at seminary alone one weekend, because when you see demons, it's usually when you're alone and there's no other witnesses around. And I was laying in my dorm room asleep, and I felt a cold presence. And I opened my eyes, and there floating above me was a demon. The girl to my left started crying. And it wasn't just, it was real tears. And at this point I'm thinking, oh, this is a joke. You guys, Ashton Kutcher wasn't even alive then, but I'm like, oh, this is obviously being punked, okay. So I closed my eyes and I prayed. I prayed to the Lord Jesus Christ, and I pointed in front of me and I said, in the name of the Lord, you be God. And I opened my eyes and that demon was gone. Gasps all around me. And all of a sudden, everybody's arms started going in the air. And this started happening. It was like a really slow hair ballad was playing. And I looked around, and I looked at the gal to my right, who was kind of the ringleader of this whole thing, and I said, this is just like Dungeons and Dragons. And I remember saying that. I'm agnostic, which means that I find atheists and evangelicals both equally annoying. Everybody's just so fucking sure. God, have you lived at all? Nothing is sure. I was sure I was going to make it as a singer. Now I'm agnostic. But I did try Catholicism for a while. It did not stick. We divorced. I'm sorry, it was annulled. There are a lot of things I didn't agree with. Abortion, the whole abortion thing. I honestly, I'm kind of agnostic about that. I really don't have an opinion one way or another. Unless I'm having trouble finding a parking space, then I'm like really pro-abortion. Coming downtown during GenCon, I'm like, Jesus Christ, seriously? There could have been so many abortions going on here. I just want to park my goddamn car. They have this whole thing in Catholicism called the sin of thought. You guys know what that is? Are there any Catholics here or former Catholics? It's okay to admit to it. Former, yeah. Bunch of gamers. Yeah, we're all former. But, so the sin of thought, the idea is that if you think about doing something in the eyes of God, you have done it. So if you think about stealing a candy bar, by God, little kid, God knows you stole that candy bar and you're a sinner and you're going to hell, confess. And I want to fucking murder somebody if they don't signal a lane change. That's mortal sin after mortal sin after mortal sin. Then it doesn't turn around the other way. It's not like, hey, I thought about giving that homeless guy $1. They also, there's like, and this goes with a lot of religions, but the things they find to get upset about, like video games. Video games cause school shootings. Well, cutscenes you can't skip. I could see that causing a mass shooting. I mean, when I get home from work, I want to sit down and play Far Cry, and all I want to do is just shoot endangered species and defile temples. That's all. I don't want some long story about how I'm going to go on an acid trip and go through Shangri-La, okay? Just let me kill some exotic tigers. Harry Potter, they've got a huge problem with Harry Potter. That's the most Christian book ever written. Book series. But I mean, seriously, it's about love being the ultimate thing. It's about living on after death. Magic is real. But I do think with Harry Potter, I think she missed some key things about teenage life. Polyjuice potion. A potion that could turn anyone into anyone else, a bunch of teenage boys with access to that. Oh, Seamus, it's your turn to be lavender, mate. Oh, Harry, I'm in real trouble. Hermione's pregnant. Don't worry, Ron. Professor Flitwood taught me the expelli fetus charm. Full disclosure, I thought that one up at a baby shower. And I said it. This is my favorite thing about Harry Potter. Okay, my wife and I have been married 20 years now. And we've got one son, which is an offshoot means which I've had sex. Once, but dudes, seriously? Jim, later, me and you were gonna talk, dude. Awesome, it's totally worth the hype. But she's not a nerd. She's not at all, not even a little bit. But she didn't know about me. There was no internet when we met, which is great because it never would have happened. She's so far above my station. She would have looked at a Facebook profile for me and been like, oh, well, this guy's into Buffy the Vampire Slayer and midget wrestling. I think I'm going to move on. But, so after we were married a few years, I kind of let it start kind of seeping in. And so there were like, you know, little things, comic books showing up. I don't know where that came from. It must be one of my old ones from high school. No, I'll take care of it. Until now, where it's just full-blown nerd all the time, constantly around the house. And I sleep with a CPAP, too. I'm a catch, ladies. If you don't know what a CPAP is, it's a big fucking mask that makes me look like Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet that I wear to keep me alive when I sleep. And so she can look over at night and see me reading a Spider-Man comic or just, don't fucking look at my face. So she goes with us to see the Harry Potter movies, but she's never read the books. And so the movies, as you know, do not do justice to the books at all. And so the last movie, it ends, and she literally, credits haven't even started yet. She just leans up forward and goes, so seriously, this was like 8 movies, guy tried to kill a baby and he couldn't? That's what this all is? I couldn't argue. I'm like, if all you're going by is the movies, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, you're right. I don't know, maybe you could shook it. I don't know. You know that moment when you're waiting for the porn to load and you're just staring at your reflection in the iPad screen? I see some of you are familiar. Now, if you're like me and have a big ego, it's the only time you can come. But I think for the rest of you, it's time for a self-inventory at that point. It's a time to figuratively and literally reflect on what you're about to do and think about all of the circumstances that got you to this point that you're about to watch a small white woman be defiled by 6 guys of different ethnicities. What the hell do you Google for? Don't judge me. And if you think about every step of your life up to that point, every mistake you've made, every regret that you've had that got you to the point that you're staring at your reflection, holding your dick in your hand, hoping the Wi-Fi will finally kick in, I promise you it's going to be the best orgasm you've ever had. I am fascinated by celebrity sex videos, and the legitimate ones and the fake ones that are meant to be, oh, I accidentally let that out. The Gene Simmons one, anybody seen that one? Oh, it's great. It's just a fat Gene Simmons he's just wearing a shirt, which is always attractive. A shirt and no pants. I'm telling you guys, go home to your ladies like that, they are gonna love you. But he's just mashing his flaccid worm into this bored blonde lady, and she's just, yeah, okay, I'm fucking Gene Simmons, this is great. So when you guys Google that later tonight, just Gene Simmons sex tape, that's all you gotta look for. The Octomom, remember her? She's kind of fallen away. She has one, and it's like the worst car wreck in the world that you're being forced to look at, even though you really want to look away. And you just keep looking. And it's her, there's nobody else involved because I think everybody else already had been. But she's sitting on the edge of a tub and she starts masturbating. Yeah, exactly. So she's like playing with her tits and well, it's more like this. She's kind of doing that. And then she starts rubbing one out and kind of here, where she's doing that, that's where her clit is. What I'm saying is, it's like this big. It's as big as the dude that runs the magic card game at your local comic shop, okay? Probably smells the same. I'm thinking actually a drop bottle of cologne would have been an improvement at any gathering ever. That's just me. The Optimum, man. I think the pro-choice movement should really start looking after those kids because those are 8 kids who are going to talk about how they wish they'd been aborted. I like this. microphones everywhere else. Sick fucks. So, you guys want to hear about Neil Gaiman riding in my car? Sure. This is a true story. So, I've got a friend here in town. She does roller derby. She did roller derby with my wife because my wife's a fucking badass. But Joan Dark is her name. Geek Knits is her book. Check it out. She's got a sequel that just came out this year. If you're into knitting, Geek Knits is the way to go. So at any rate, Joan, just through a series of circumstances, her life just falls into these wonderful things. And in this case, she was making oatmeal. And because of that, she met Neil Gaiman. She was, what, you don't get it? Do you think there should be more context to this story? She made oatmeal and met Neil Gaiman. Everybody's done that, right? So she's making oatmeal, and the steam coming around the bottom of the pot kind of made a form that looked like Morbius on the side of the pot. So she took a picture and posted it to Twitter. And met Neil Gaiman as a result. He came to town to collect the Marion McFadden Award, which is a yearly award that our library sponsors. And so before he comes to town, she texts me and she goes, hey, can you hold me a spot in line for the Neil Gaiman thing? I'm like, oh yeah, totally. And then literally later that day, she texts me again and goes, never mind, we're going to the VIP meet and greet. Okay, why not? Then she texts me later, oh, and we're going to go out to dinner with him afterwards. Okay. So the event comes, we go to it, he speaks, he's the proper English gentleman, he's just awesome. So we all meet back at the hotel where he's staying. And it was my wife, my son and I, and then some other roller derby people all there together. And he comes down and he goes, well, I'll just need a lift to the restaurant we're going to. And it was just, you could just, tumbleweed blew by as we all just kind of stared at each other. And so I won the fist fight. And so we go out to my car and Neil fucking Gaiman is sitting in my passenger seat. And my son and he just start talking, and it was awesome. He was totally engaged with my son. They were talking about all this stuff. My son was about 9 at the time. And it was wonderful. It was such a great experience for him. And my wife, she hadn't read any of his stuff, but she's like, hey, this dude is freaking hot. And so, and she's still in love with him. She's kind of forgotten about me, but it's totally worth it. But I can't do small talk with people that I've known for years, let alone this dude. I sound like Tommy Wiseau from The Room. Oh, hi, Neil. What a story, Neil. You want to play some football? And it was fantastic the entire evening. So we get back to the hotel to drop him off. And have you a piece of paper you'd like me to scribble on or anything? And so my son pulls out the graveyard book. Oh, could you sign this? Totally. He sat there for like 4 minutes, drew a picture, wrote everything in it. It's gorgeous. That thing is just awesome, the time he took with it. Hands it back to my son, gets out, insists on hugging my wife, and I'm like, dude, seriously? Come on. But it was a great experience, and because of that, since then, I've actually gotten to hang out with him again. We did the Kickstarter with Amanda Palmer, and he showed up at that. So it's like, and again, another evening with Neil Gaiman where I couldn't speak to the guy. And, he's trying to talk to me, I'm like, They say don't meet your idols because they may never live up to your expectations. I will never live up to my own expectations when I meet my idols. Carrie Fisher was here a few months ago, and I didn't even bother. I'm like, I'd go, I'd just stand in front of her and be like, Return of the Jedi totally got me through puberty. You guys psyched about the new Star Wars movie? Seriously? Have you forgotten the last 3? Those movies pull a Josh Duggar on my soul. I'm standing behind it. On a tangent, do you think the Duggars have a favorite kid? I bet they do. I'm thinking it's Josh, actually, because look at all the attention they've gotten from that. And they kept him in the house. Obviously, they like him more than the others. All right, so anyway, yeah, the Star Wars chump, Dylan. Get back in the game. So I'm kind of psyched about it. I'm staying on the fence a little bit. I'm psyched. We got Harrison Ford coming back, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher coming back to it. I think it'll be nice to hear Luke, after he climbs a flight of stairs, sound like his dad. Princess Leia can have a little bitty lightsaber to cut lines in her Coke. That's the too far thing. Han's got to jump into a carbonite chamber to avoid an atomic blast, I've heard. There it goes. I can always see that one kind of going away. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I want to thank all of you for coming to Indiana despite our governor. Seriously, Mike Pence, what a piece of shit. That guy, he's had so many conservatives up his ass, I have no idea why he's against gay anything. I did that bit a week ago at a small bar on the east side of Indy, and a guy was off telling the showrunner, "You get that fucking liberal piece of shit off the stage!" I fucking loved it. I was like, dude, put that on my promos. So the tough thing about living in a state where shit like this goes on, and for all of you from out of state, I mean, this has been going on for a while. A year ago, they tried to pass this thing. The bill was HJR 3. It was to define marriage to be between a man and a woman, or, and I swear this was in the legislation, second cousins so long as they were over 65 years of age each.